You join me with a box. This is the eBox 2300 mini PC, and as you can see, it's very small. It's got very basic connections at the back, not much going on the side, and a compact flash connector on the front, USB audio, standard stuff. I got this computer for R1, which is basically free. So then I proceeded to power it on to see what we actually have here. Well, it seems like what we have here is a half-lit power button and nothing on the screen. Yep, definitely dimly lit there. It should be a lot brighter. Well, I thought maybe it needs a compact flash card to boot up. But same story, nothing happening. So let's see if we can find something obviously wrong inside. It's held in with 4 screws at the bottom and then the VGA connector screws at the back. The bottom half just comes apart and you just need to unplug the power switch from the motherboard. Next off, just unhook this silver bit around the sides. It just slides off. And finally the top part, which acts as a heatsink, so I'm just going to remove these clips and pull it off. So this is an SiS 550 system on a chip with the processor, graphics, Northbridge, etc. It's got a Realtek LAN chip, got some Hynix RAM there, Realtek sound chip, the standard connectors at the back, and the compact flash loading tray at the front. It's also got a 44-pin IDE connector at the bottom for smaller laptop hard drives, and the caps actually look like they're in pretty decent shape. So I proceeded to test the power coming into the unit. It should be 5 volts, however with it powered on it's only sitting at 3.1, which would explain our dimly lit power light. However, the power supply is outputting 5 volts as it should, and with it connected to the PC yet turned off, it's also the same story. So I tried another power supply. This is actually one for external hard drives, 5 volt 2 amps, and I got it to power on. So clearly we've got a defective power unit, and this BIOS is something you may have seen back in the days on mini 386s, but here it is working on this machine, and the CMOS battery actually held the time. So let's get some storage going. On this class machine you're not going any further than Windows XP, so 16 gigabytes is going to be more than sufficient. Right, let's load some operating system. And you can see the specs, eBox 2300A4, it looks like it's got a knockoff of an Intel 440LX chipset there at the bottom. So I proceeded to install Windows XP off CD-ROM. Now I couldn't power the CD-ROM off this unit with that 2 amp power supply. So I rigged up this elaborate scheme using the Y cable of the CD drive, which I powered off a cell phone charger. So that's outputting another 2 amps into this whole system, and even when not using the CD-ROM I would run it like that just to improve the system stability, as it requires 3 amps and that Molex output is only 2 amp. You can see this processor is definitely made by SiS. It runs at 400 MHz. We've got internal AGP bus running at 4 speed, motherboard made by FIC. 120 megabytes of RAM, there's no SPD data, and Windows thinks this is a 586 running at 400 megahertz, which is more or less accurate enough. I proceeded to load some drivers, but I never could get XP to run quite as fast as I would have liked it to run. All the drivers did load, but yeah. I downgraded to Windows FLC, which is a very lightweight version, and it installed perfectly, also using the same drivers. And I could actually remote into the machine, so it was useful. But DOS, let's try DOS. I booted off this boot disk, and here I've got 2 DOS apps. Right, let's try again. Yeah, the cat also agrees. So this is the DOS sound in it for the SiS 7018, and I thought maybe it would work on this 7019, but no success.
Yeah, I needed to look a nice piece of speaker.
Unfortunately, when I tried to play this Golden Axe, there was a read error on the Stiffy and it wouldn't load. Yes, that retro light. I think if you have a smaller compact flash card installing DOS on it, this would make a very nice DOS gaming PC. Lastly, I tried Windows 2000 and this ran really well on this machine. I think it's a perfect fit. It runs as fast as I remember 2000 running. And I think it's a good fit. However, the problem is I couldn't find any suitable graphics drivers, and as soon as I loaded the one I used in XP, I got a blue screen of death. So I ordered another unit to see if I can get at least one good power supply for these units. Here I'm unwrapping the new unit, well, the second unit I bought. It's definitely not new, and let's see if it powers up. Womp womp womp. Yep, same dimly lit power light. This unit also no dice. I was not very happy at this stage. I gave the seller negative ratings on both these units and were offered refunds on the units only. However, considering the shipping cost, this was a terrible deal. At least I got that DVD box set. I had one of these units 2 years ago, and after finding out what it is, I informed the seller the correct specs and was told they would update the listings, but here we are almost 3 years later and the listings are still showing HP thin clients.
Well guys, so there you have it. Not all things come to a good end. I will stand by those ratings I gave that seller because I find it unacceptable to charge such a lot of money in shipping, even though the item was free, and then only offer to refund the item. What I would have wanted was to be sent a unit that was tested, and despite the comments saying that the units are tested before sending out. That doesn't explain why twice in a row I would get ones with broken power supplies. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll make a new one whenever I have something to make a new one about.